Hi, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Jolly SEO TLDR podcast. Today we have Varun Anand. He is the CEO and founder of EduHubSpot, and Varun's YouTube channel has more than 2 million views. So Varun, we're here today to talk about YouTube SEO. I know that's something you have a lot of background in. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about how you got started, how you started your channel, that kind of thing?
Sure, absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much, Morgan, for inviting me to this podcast. And most importantly, you were under the weather, so you were not feeling well, and still going on with this session just shows that you are so much committed and you love what you do. So I'll put it like that. And to answer your question related to YouTube SEO, how we started, it's a pretty long journey. Um, when I actually started recording videos and I wanted to help my students. So I'm a PMP trainer, project management trainer, and I thought that when students go back and if they go back and can watch my recordings and stuff, it would really help them in their project management certification preparation. So that was the initial idea. And then what I did was I uploaded some videos on YouTube and I made it private because I didn't want everybody else to look at it. I just wanted my students because that's how I thought. But then because of some XYZ reason, I had to bring down that YouTube channel. And then it became more like a paid platform. We started growing more and more. And then we thought that, you know what, we have to do YouTube with much more professionalism, which we were not doing it in the beginning.
Yeah.
And now we have close to around 40,000 subscribers. We have more than 2 million views. And day in and day out, we are dependent on YouTube. So that's how it is.
Yeah, makes sense. So for people who aren't very familiar with all this, what exactly is YouTube SEO and why is it important for video creators to understand this?
Yeah. So a lot of people may know this already, but we all know that, when you have some kind of doubt, what is the first platform do you go to? We typically go to Google, which is the number one SEO, right? The search engine. And after YouTube, after Google, it's YouTube, which is the number two, in the SEO rankings. So what is YouTube? So if you put an video on YouTube and you think that next day magically your video would start coming on the very first page of YouTube, trust me, it's not going to happen. There are 10,000 things involved, like how the title should be, what should be the watch time of YouTube. So there are so many different factors which we really have to consider it before we can go in and actually publish a video and hoping for or praying for it to become viral. No, there's no such thing as viral. You do things to make it viral. That's how it is.
Yeah, I got you. And that makes a ton of sense. I can't say how many times I've gone on YouTube to just look for a quick tutorial or something like that. I don't have a
Mhm.
lot of time to really sift through the videos. I'm going to pick the first one. And I think from a lot of our perspectives, right, we think there's this luck factor with the viral videos, like, well, it seems so random. It must have just happened to become, a viral hit. But you're saying there's a whole lot involved behind the scenes to get these videos to rank, basically,
Correct.
right?
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
And I get what you're saying too about the titles and stuff. I think people who typically focused on traditional SEO, of course, we get it. You have the tags, you have the meta text. It's not really that different, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep. Correct.
but my next question for you is how YouTube SEO is different from traditional SEO, or is there really not much of a differentiator there?
No, no, there is definitely a lot of difference. So, of course, the traditional SEO, I'm not an expert in the traditional SEO for Google, so I won't be able to speak much on that. But as per as my understanding on the traditional side is that you need meta tags, you need backlinks, which is the traditional way for those. But for YouTube, YouTube actually takes into consideration the watch time. Now, what do I mean by watch time? Like, let's take an instance. We recorded a 10-minute video, and in that 10 minutes video, somebody watched your video for just 1 minute. Now, if you see from the watch time perspective, it is 1 minute for that user. Now, let's say I recorded a video, which is for instead of 10 minutes, it is, let's say, 20 minutes video. And somebody watched my video for 5 minutes. Now, if you see the logic, one user for one video watched it for 5 minutes and the other user watched the video for 1 minute. So definitely my watch time is better, which is 5 minutes as compared to 1 minute. So it's always recommended that we stay focused on the watch time aspect, where like I always say this to like in the beginning of my videos, I'll give my listeners some kind of hook. Now, what do I mean by hook? Hook means that I will say that, hey, you know what? Just stay till the end of the video. I'm going to share some very important strategies. Or if you stay till the end of the video, this is what you will get. So some kind of hook, and give them a glimpse of that hook in the beginning itself, so that knowingly and unknowingly, the user watches that video till the very end, and automatically the watch time increases. YouTube looks at it and sees that, oh, the watch time of this video is pretty good. Like out of 10 minutes, this person watched this video for 8 minutes, which means it's around 80%. So YouTube automatically start ranking that video. And when more and more people start watching those videos, your video will come on the very first page, and the more visibility, the more popularity you will get.
Yeah, it makes tons of sense. So are you saying if I make a bunch of 10-second videos that people will definitely finish, is that going to be a good strategy?
From one aspect, and from the other aspect, it would not be a good strategy, because ultimately it is just 10 seconds as compared to my video, which is for 10 minutes and people watch it for, let's say, 5 minutes. So my watch time is for 5 minutes and your watch time is just for 10 seconds. So I am like much more farther ahead as compared to you in that regards.
I see. So it's not so much of what percentage of the, and sorry if we're getting too into the weeds here, but I'm just curious, is it not so much
Mhm.
the percentage of the video that's watched, but the total watch time?
Total watch time is given more priority as compared to the percentage. Both the factors are important, but total watch time is much more important than the percentage. And I'll tell you what happened. So I was making these course videos, and historically these course videos were like 15, 20 minutes video. But what I did, because I was recording this video, the first video which I recorded, I made it for 1 hour 15 minutes, because I just went into like so detail. I went into the flow. And you know what? After a while, I started looking at it and I saw that that video became more like a viral video as compared to my, 15, 20 minutes video. And then I realized that, oh, you know what? If you make a little bit more, there is a high probability that watch time will, play an impact on that.
Yeah, interesting. So I know we talked about watch time, and that sounds like it's a really big component
Mhm.
of YouTube SEO. What would be some of the other major factors that maybe don't play such a role with traditional SEO?
Yes. So see, title and tags. These, like for example, um, let's take an example. I want to cook pizza tonight, just as an example, right? I want to cook pizza tonight, and I want people to go on YouTube and watch my pizza recipe. So how would you, give a title to this? Typically, people say how to make pizza at home, or how to make pizza in 10 minutes, something of that sort, right? So it's
Mhm.
always better that your keywords come ahead of the title and tag. Like, for example, my main keyword is pizza in 10 minutes, right? So instead of saying how to make pizza in under 10 minutes, I will say pizza in 10 minutes. So the word pizza came in the beginning, which is a better thing. And then the description of YouTube plays an important role as well. Like how many times you have written that keyword in the description, and the earlier it is in the description, the better it is. And finally, another important point is how many times you have used that keyword in your speech when you are making a video. So, like for example, I'm making a video about pizza in 10 minutes, but I'm not using the word pizza. Instead, I'm saying that, hey, you know what? You see this? I put veggies on this. It looks delicious. But instead of that, I should say that, oh, you know what? Pizza look delicious. I put veggies on the pizza. Pizza is amazing. Things of that sort. You have to speak on those keywords also. And I always say this, that it's better if you upload a transcript of that also. Because if you upload a transcript on YouTube of what you are speaking, then you will make sure, like sometimes your accent are different. Like, my accent is different, your accent is different. How would YouTube understand that I'm really meaning this XYZ word? So when you put the transcript into the picture, then those
Mhm.
keywords are actually highlighted and that video becomes much more better as compared to others.
Yeah, thanks for giving that rundown. I actually didn't know this, that YouTube basically crawls the video just in the same way Google would crawl a piece of content, right? And
Yep.
and that transcript makes a ton of sense. I get it, but if you don't have a transcript up, YouTube can still detect the frequency of
Correct.
certain keywords you're saying.
Correct. Yes. I won't say transcript play a very big role. It plays a very small, minute role. It's if you have to go into something, do it 100%, right? That's how I always say. So it's always better.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, you're devoting a lot of time into making a quality piece of content that you're putting up on YouTube. You might
Correct.
as well take those couple of minutes to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. It makes sense.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so we've talked about watch time. We've kind of gone over the tags, the titles, that kind of thing, using keywords. I do know that YouTube has something called YouTube or analytics, right? YouTube analytics. How can somebody who's putting videos up use that to the data that they can get there to improve their SEO strategies?
Yes, so that's another important point. So when you look into the analytics, what happens is that you can see at what point of the time in your video where people are dropping off. So, like for example, let's say it's a 10-minute video and you see that at 2 minutes 30 seconds many people dropped off. So what is the reason why at 2 minutes 30 seconds why people dropped off? What is one specific thing you said at that time? So it's a simple math. You go back, you watch your own video again and see what you specifically said at that time slot. Now, if let's say a lot of people dropped off, this means people didn't like it and you don't have to say these kind of things again. But if let's say a lot of people are watching it till the very end, this means it's a good video. And based on the analytics, you can really find out that these are the good things where people are liking it. So you have to use those kind of things, more and more in your videos moving forward.
Yeah, interesting. And it kind of goes back to your point about making a good hook, right? And as somebody who goes and watches videos, like I always see that. I see in the initial image that something exciting is going to come up, right? So you just have to keep them engaged. I suppose with YouTube, is it like written content where you can go back and edit the content based on the data you're getting, or is it just data that you can use for future videos kind of thing?
It is actually both. You can see, ultimately you cannot re-record that video, right? Because that video is already published. What
Yeah.
you can do is you can change some settings on YouTube, like change the description a little bit here and there, change the tags here and there, based on the analytics. But of course, in the future videos, you will take into consideration about all these things. So
Yeah, it makes sense. So not a ton you can do to tweak the video, right? Like you said, it's already recorded, but now you
correct.
know for the future what you might have done wrong or right. Um, okay. Yeah, thanks. That was a really detailed explanation. I'm sure you hear a lot of people talking about SEO on YouTube. Do you sometimes hear people saying things that are common things you hear that just are incorrect about how you should conduct yourself in terms of YouTube SEO?
I
Or I should say myths or anything of that
Myths
nature.
about YouTube SEO. That's a very interesting question. I Most likely there should be myths about it. But nothing is coming on top of my head. I can definitely tell you a role of thumbnail in YouTube. Like thumbnail plays a very important part. Like what do I like? I'm assuming people know what thumbnail is. Thumbnail is the image which is on the YouTube, and somebody just looks at the image, and you force the people to like click on that video to watch it, right? So thumbnail plays a very important part. And from the thumbnail perspective, always make sure that your title, whatever your title is, it should be big, bold, easily visible on the thumbnail. And um, don't try to create something sensational. If you try to create something sensational from the thumbnail, people might click on your video and start watching it, but ultimately they will drop off, or they will not finish watching it, because there was nothing sensational. It was just a thumbnail which you created like that. That in turns actually hurts the video more, because let's say it's a 10-minute video. Now you didn't talk about that sensational thing which you talked in the which you wrote in the thumbnail. People might drop off pretty early, right? So you don't want to do anything like that. So
Yeah, and I think like we're all tired of these kind of like what we would call clickbait
clickbaits,
thumbnails,
yes.
right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, we've seen it all, like, edited images that look like some kind of crazy monster or something like that, saying if they found Bigfoot or whatever it is. And of course, you go there and it's absolutely nothing to do with that.
Yep, yep,
Um, and, I assume most people are good at spotting that, but, I've
yep.
definitely seen it. So, in terms of somebody who's just getting started posting videos on YouTube, what would be your top, like, easily actionable tips? I know you probably spoke on this already, but just if
Mhm.
you could list it out in like a 1, 2, 3 kind of steps, I think that would be helpful for some of the, less experienced people that are listening.
Sure, absolutely. Um, First of all, what I gave today, it was more of, I would say, generalized, but there should be a full-fledged training which people should undergo. Now, whenever we use the word training, um, people will probably get scared about it. No, I don't want you to get scared. It's a lot of free content which is available on YouTube itself. Look at how your intro should be, how your middle should be, how your end should be. Like your intro should always be like an attention grabbing intro of the video. It's very much dependent upon what is the content you are using in the video, like attention grabbing intro. Now what do I mean by that? Like, for example, if I have to explain a concept to you, I can probably explain that concept in a plain simple English, but the other way around, I would probably explain the same concept using an example or using a case study, or more like a storytelling kind of a thing. Like I can say that, hey, you know what, there's a Morgan takes care of the SEO thing. He was struggling to do this. And, so I'll talk about the pain points of Morgan in the SEO space, and the same kind of pain points which the listeners would probably feel the same, because they want to relate it that, oh, you know what? If Morgan is facing these issues, I'm also facing this same issue. So let me watch that video till the very end. So I always say this: use storytelling, give people some kind of proofs to show that you are genuinely saying, like, give some kind of a matrix. Like, for example, say that 80% of the people say this XYZ thing, but that is completely wrong. So start with these kind of intros. And for the end, I know a lot of people are very shy. They don't say that, hey, please like my video, please subscribe my video. But there is a reason for that. YouTube wants to see um, how your listeners are communicating with your video. So it's very important that you ask people to subscribe your channel, comment on that, and don't just say that, hey, please comment on it. No, ask them an open-ended question in your video itself, so that they can actually go ahead and comment about it. Like, for instance,
Hmm.
you're doing a video and you say that, hey, I use 3 strategies in the video. Which one is your favorite? And why? Give me the reasoning. I reply to each and every comment. So give users more specific directed questions, so that they can actually interact with those videos. So that's how you should start. Use the free content available on YouTube. Start implementing those things. Don't go straight into the camera and start recording it. I want you to have a preparation, have your intro, have your middle, have your end properly articulated, and just go into it. Don't get scared. Most likely what will happen, your video will not rank on the top page, right? Don't expect a miracle would happen the next day, but do things slowly. The more you will learn, the more you will listen to the experts who have been doing this day in and day out, who have successful YouTube channels. You would also grow. Keep doing, keep publishing the content, and ultimately you will be successful. I'm 100% sure about that.
Yeah, no, I think those sound like awesome tips. And you know, like we've all heard people asking for subscribers, other people are doing it. I think it's a good point not to be shy about it. You know, I think as a viewer, it's not it's not an imposition, really. You know, you're enjoying somebody's content. I think it's natural you would subscribe. And yeah, no, I think those are all great tips. So for our last question, we try to do something a little fun, more creative. So this we can kind of play around with. But the question is, if you had some kind of magic genie, what change would you make to YouTube's algorithm, SEO algorithm? Or maybe it's perfect as is.
No, I think everywhere there is a sense of improvement. How would I improve the YouTube SEO? I want to see how AI would impact YouTube. Like, for example, like how would YouTube differentiate between an original content and a content created by AI? So I'm very much interested into that. I just don't want that, somebody XYZ, comes into picture, use the AI technology and, start making videos as compared to, people like us who are working tirelessly on the original content. So I really want to see that collaboration into the piece, but I'm pretty sure, soon we would have something on those lines. Let's see.
Yeah, and I think this is the debate or the issue or whatever it is across all facets of SEO. You know, I was recently at MozCon, and I would say 30% of the presenters talked about AI, and people are come from it from a place of fear a lot of times because you know, this is our specialty. AI is, if anything, it seems like the ultimate disruptor of the space.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, I think it's not just going to be an AI takeover, right? It's going to be some way that we use AI as a hybrid approach to help ourselves.
Yep.
And hopefully, like you said, YouTube can still find a way to value original human generated content as well. I think a lot of people want that, and you know, we'll see what happens down the road.
Yep. Let's see.
Well, awesome. That's all the questions I had. Thank you, Varun, for being on our podcast. And yeah, it was awesome tips on YouTube SEO. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much, Morgan. Thank you for inviting me. I had a pleasure chatting with you as well. Thank you. Have a good day.